What's going on, people, and welcome to my recap for England versus Hungary and Germany versus England. Obviously, yesterday we got a 1-1 draw against Germany. I think we were very fortunate to get a draw. Safety FC, Security England FC, sitting back, trying to counter. I thought we were terrible, to be honest. Kane should have scored, even though he scores a penalty. He should have 2 goals. Pickford should do better for the Germany goal, should save it. And Maguire gets caught out of that position as well. I'm going to get into the ratings in a minute. As for the Hungary game, we made them look like they were Brazil or Argentina or something, because they played us around the park like that. Like they were Brazil, like they were Argentina, like they were France or something. And all respect to Hungary, they were pretty good in the Euros. But if we want to be considered as along the likes of Argentina, France, Brazil, Germany, we have to be getting results. And yes, we got a result against Germany yesterday, but we were very fortunate to get that result. We should have lost the game. I've heard people getting at me today on Facebook saying that we played them off the pitch, basically, in their own backyard. What game are you watching? I'm taking on the world today on Facebook with the amount of abuse I'm getting for putting player ratings up for people, because people can't handle the truth. And people give credit to players that they haven't even justified that credit you're giving them. So keep bringing the hate. I'll get some vinegar so you can have some vinegar along with your salt that you're bringing. And I will fight till the death of me in terms of my opinion, because I believe in it, and you should believe in yours. Everyone's entitled to opinions, but people really like to ruin their day over this, and it's a joke, to be honest. And then when I message people, they don't want to know. So look, if you're going to give it out, you've got to be able to take it. That's all I would say. And at the end of the day, it's opinion, but some people seem to take it more as that and make it personal. So then people need to seek help, and I hope you get the help that you need. But for the Hungary game, as I said, we definitely should have done more. I thought we were terrible in that. I thought we were better yesterday a little bit, but we were still not good enough, and we shouldn't have got a draw in that game, in my opinion. Kane should have scored another goal as well, but I don't think it was a penalty that we got. I thought we were very lucky in getting a penalty. For me, it wasn't a penalty. He took the penalty well, and we got a draw from it. We got a point. I would also say, to everyone getting at me on Facebook, go and look at the group for the UEFA Nations League. We're bottom after 2 games. We are bottom. So everyone backing these players and giving them credit, go and look at the table, because the numbers don't lie. I'm going to get into the ratings for the Hungary game. I give Pickford an average. I thought he did okay. Trent a 4, because I think defensively he always gets caught out. As much as I like him going forward, I do think he gets caught out a lot. So I give him a 4. Walker, I give him an average. I thought he did okay. Cody, I thought was very good. Probably could have scored a header as well, but cleared that chance off the line as well from Hungary, even though we lost. Could have been more if it hadn't have been for that clearance from him. So Cody gets a 6. Maguire, 4. I thought he was just dodgy again, fouling people, slow, just doesn't instill me with confidence. 4 for Maguire. Justin, I don't understand why he got a call up in the first place. Where's Walker Peters? I don't understand that decision. Don't see what Justin's really done to justify getting a call up, and I thought he was poor as well. So a 4 for Justin. Bellingham, 4, and I like Bellingham. People seem to think when you give players low ratings, you must hate them and you have an agenda against them. Bellingham's one of my favourite players at the moment, but it just shows that I haven't got an agenda, because I base it on what I watch. And for me, Bellingham was not at the standard that we know he's capable of, and he was below average for me, so he gets a 4. Rice, I thought did okay. I'd give him an average of a 5. I thought he got on the ball enough, but he wasn't spectacular, but didn't really put a lot wrong in terms of mistakes and that. So I'll give Rice a 5. Mount, I thought was non-existent. I didn't notice him in the game, to be honest, so that's why I give him a 3. Bowen, I was excited and waiting for his debut. He got it against Hungary, and I thought he had a few chances, but they were more like half chances, and I was really not pleased with his first touch and his control. There were several times where someone would give him the ball and his touch would be too heavy, and whether that's nerves, I'd say it is, but I was disappointed with his debut, to be honest, Bowen. So I'd give him a 3. And then Kane, I'd give him a 4. I don't think he was in the game enough, and he's almost a centre-back position at times, trying to play long balls, and whilst I know he can create assists and be a playmaker, I don't want you being a playmaker in a centre-back position. So Kane, for me, was a bit too quiet, so I'd give him a 4. And then the subs, obviously Reece came on and gave away the penalty. You could argue it might be a bit soft, but he weren't anywhere near the ball, and he has got his hands on him a bit, but it might be a bit soft, but it's not the impact you want to make when you come off the bench. So for me, Reece would get a 3. Stones, Phillips, I both give them an average. I thought they did okay. Saka, I give him a 6. I actually thought when he came on for Justin, he had a couple shots and went on a good run at one point. Unfortunately, he didn't score, but I thought he injected life into the game and did well. So I'd give Saka a 6. And Grealish, give him an average when he came on. He was definitely better than Mount was, but nothing exceptional. So that is the ratings for the Hungary game. But as I said, if we want to be considered a top team and be in the conversation of winning tournaments, which I don't think we will anyway under Southgate because of how defensive he is, we have to be beating these teams like Hungary. And we didn't. And we're bottom of the group. So that is my ratings for Hungary. Going into yesterday's game, I thought Germany were the better team. I thought we were very fortunate to pick up the draw. I think we're very fortunate to get a penalty because that looks very soft to me, and it was offside. So we got out of jail, and Neuer makes that save from Kane as well, from a great cross from Grealish that Neuer saved with his hip. But Kane should be scoring that. Even though it's a very good save, Kane should be scoring that. So, ratings, Pickford, I give him a 3. He made a couple decent saves, but he also kicked the ball out continuously with his distribution, whacking it up the field to nobody. I'd rather you play out from the back and be a bit more risky and potentially lose it at the back than just smack it up the field constantly to no one. And he did that far too much yesterday for me. And he should save the goal for Germany for me. He gets a bit of a hand to it, but he should save it for me. So for me, Pickford gets a 3. Walker, some people's man of the match, I can understand that. I personally gave him an average because I do think he made a few mistakes on the ball as well, giving away simple sloppy passes as well, and making a little bit of a mess of it. But then he did rescue us at times as well. So I evened it out as an average for Walker. Stones, I thought, again, average. I don't think he was the worst. I thought he didn't really make any mistakes. He looked pretty solid to me. 5 for Stones. Maguire, a 3. For the goal that got disallowed as well from Germany. He takes out a player, takes out Havertz. We're lucky that that goal didn't get given because he fouls Havertz clearly, and it's a red card for me. And we got away with it. And he's also at fault for the goal that stood. He comes out of position, and he's at fault for that goal, which he does for United. I don't understand why he's in the team. Forgetting all the stuff previously for England in tournaments, yes, he's done well. But if we're doing it on form, which Gareth said he is, he shouldn't be even in the squad, let alone being starting. So, for me, Maguire shouldn't be anywhere near the team, and I thought he was a joke yesterday. If you like watching rugby players, I'd suggest watching Maguire's performance yesterday. Maguire gets a 3. Trippier, 4. I thought he was okay, but didn't really offer a lot in terms of set pieces. I thought his deliveries were a bit poor, and defensively, he was okay, but I would like to see a bit more influence in the game from him, so I'd give him a below average with a 4. Rice, a 4. I don't think he did well enough in the midfield. He worked hard, but I feel like he got bypassed in that midfield continuously. So for me, it was below average, and I'd give Rice a 4. Phillips obviously went off injured, and I give him a 5 in average because while he was on the pitch, I thought he did okay, and he didn't make any mistakes, and I think that he did fine, to be honest, until he went off. People were saying, how can you give Phillips a 5 and Rice a 4? Because even though he wasn't on the pitch as long, Phillips didn't put a foot wrong. And I don't think he made mistakes. And I think like Rice got overran in that midfield, as I said. So if Phillips had stayed on for longer, maybe he would have got the same as Rice. But he didn't. So that's why I give him a 5. Saka, I'd give a 4. I thought he was a bit like Mount in the Hungary game. Large periods of the game he was missing and non-existent. But then he did have a couple shots as the game went on, and he came into it a bit more. So I'd give him a 4. Mount, I actually thought was a lot better in this game. I'd give him a 5. I thought he linked up well at times on the left with Sterling and Kane. Yeah, I thought he was just a lot more involved this time, and I don't think he was anywhere near one of the worst on the pitch. So for me, I saw people giving Mount stick after the game, and I thought he was better than in the Hungary game. So I'd give Mount an average. Sterling, I'd give him a 3. There was one shot that he skied over the bar. I thought he started well with the link-up play at times, but then he just drifted out of the game. And at moments, from experience from him, what we saw in the Euros from him, I didn't see anywhere near that level from him yesterday. And I thought that he was below par by some distance. So I'd give him a 3. Kane, again, I'd give him a 4. Yes, he scores a penalty. It shouldn't be a penalty in the first place, so we're fortunate to get it. And then also, he should score as well. That other chance that Neuer saves, for me, should be scoring. So, and he's dropping again at centre-back position at times, trying to be a quarterback. It's not American football. So, for me, Kane gets a 4. And then Bellingham, again, I give him a 4, the same as the Hungary game. I like Bellingham a lot, but I don't think in these 2 games he's been playing to the level that we know he's capable of. That we see for Dortmund. I know it's a different set of players in a different system, but as an individual, I still expect you to be doing more. And I don't think he's been doing as well as he could be. So for me, he gets a 4 again. And then Bowen and Grealish, I actually thought Bowen was a lot better coming off the bench. I thought he injected life into the game. He put a ball in at one point I can't remember who missed it, but at the back post, he put a ball in down the right. And someone messed it up on the far post, but good ball in from him, and he looked lively when he came on. And Grealish, I thought, was very good as well. I'd also give him a 6, putting a few good crosses himself. The one for Kane, that Kane should score. I thought Grealish did impact the game. So for me, man of the match. Also I didn't say my man of the match for the Hungary game. I'd probably give man of the match to the Hungary game to Cody. And man of the match yesterday for me, it would be between Walker, Bowen and Grealish. I think I would give it to Grealish, because I think even though I give Bowen the same rating, Grealish did a little bit more, but I would give them the same rating. But if you're going to give a man of the match, I'd give it to Grealish. And when you're giving your man of the matches to a sub when they ain't been on the pitch for too long, that speaks volumes as well. Also, I don't understand why we didn't get to see Gallagher yesterday on the bench. He hasn't had a chance yet, and I don't see why you don't throw him on and give him a chance and try and change the game. It's because he's more of an attacker than a defensive player. And obviously, we know Southgate is very security-based in his system and how he plays football. And that is why I don't think we'll win anything under Southgate with this batch of talent that we do have, but we're not getting the best out of them because of the system they're in. So even though I have give them low ratings, a lot of them, it's not always on them. Yes, they are culpable and responsible for their performances as a player, as a professional, but the manager has to take a lot of blame as well, because he sets them up in a way of playing. And if he's telling them to be defensive, then they're going to be hesitant when they're doing things, because they're going to be like, that's not what he wants us to do. And they're going to be looking over their shoulder all the time. So for me, yesterday, Grealish, impact sub. I thought he was man of the match when he came on. And I'm not Grealish's biggest fan. I think he made himself absolutely look like a tit recently with that parade after City won the league. And I do think he's overrated. I don't think he's justified 100 million going to Man City. I think he's only behind Lukaku in flop of the season. So for me, even though he made an impact yesterday, he's lucky to be in the squad for me, because he's hardly played for City enough, or when he has, I don't think he's justified the 100 million tag. I don't think he suits City's system either, and he should have stayed at Villa for me. But I give him credit for yesterday because I thought he made an impact. But my point being, there's players in that squad that aren't being given a chance that should be. Where's Maddison? Where's Harvey Barnes? Where's Walker Peters? Where's Gallagher? Where's Abraham? Tammy Abraham just won the Conference Europa. Now, I know it's a conference, but it's still some silverware. Maguire, what has Maguire won this year? And look, he's at fault for the goal yesterday, as well as Pickford. Pickford survives relegation, and you're not giving Ramsdale a chance. Just make it make sense to me, because Southgate is clearly picking his team on players he trusts from previous tournaments. But football has to evolve, and we have to evolve. Look at Italy. They're above us in the group, and we got to play them next, and they've changed around quite a bit of their squad since the Euros, and they won the Euros. But they've changed their squad up, and we don't do that, and we didn't even win in our own backyard. So, everyone getting at me, go and look at the table for the UEFA Nations League and tell me what you think. That is it, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll be back soon. Probably do another video after it, the Italy game with the ratings and my thoughts on it. But let me know your thoughts, guys. And before I go, 2,000 subscribers by the 1st of June is the target. Come subscribe, come and make sure the notifications are switched on, and come and join me on the road to 2,000. I'll speak to you guys soon.